Welcome back to Rumor Society. On this channel, we share our opinions on social media stories and headline news. Now let's get into today's story. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reacting to a storytime video. She titled the video, How I Found Out My Husband Was Cheating on Me with 2 different teachers at our school. Let's get into it.
Y'all asked for a story time, so I'm going to give you a story time, even though I don't like people all in my business like that. But anyway, story time on how I found out my husband had been cheating on me with 2 teachers at our school. And yes, I said our school because I taught there too. He was a teacher at the time, and the other 2 teachers taught there as well. So we all in this school, and I found out he was cheating on me. Okay, so boom. I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to just start here. Let me give you a little context first, okay? When we got married, our daughter was already 2 years old. I had called up the marriage a couple of times before we even went through with it. But I just considered it me not really understanding relationship dynamics. The 2 of us, we both were trying to break what we consider generational curses. Neither one of us grew up with our father in the home. So we were really trying to really push through. And plus, I didn't know what is a normal, marital conflict. And are you just supposed to push through this? Maybe it'll get better. So anyway, there were a lot of signs of insecurity from the very beginning. So anyway, fast forward, we're working together. I would say not even 6 months after we got married, I had a scholarship that required me to, I had already deferred it, but I had to go ahead and pursue it if I was going to keep it, and it paid for my doctoral program. So anyway, I started school in a doctoral program 6 months after we got married. That was very taxing. I get it. It took up a lot of time. Mind you, we're new parents. Full-time teachers. I teach a major content area. At the time, I was teaching English. So working full-time, in school full-time, and trying to manage being a wife. And it was a lot, okay? So anyway, I guess he felt neglected. That was his excuse. He felt neglected. But anyway, part of his neglect was because of all the arguing and the turmoil he was causing in the house. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep going back to the story. So at the school, it was literally like I was getting accused every day. I couldn't talk to any male coworkers. Mind you, I'm a new teacher mentor, and we had new male teachers who had entered the school that I had to interact with. He accused me of knowing that they wanted me. If they looked in my direction, he would question me on our lunch break when he would get in my car and go with me.
I'm going to pause her for a second, but I just find that interesting. They usually say the one that's doing the accusing, they're usually the one doing the dirt due to a guilty conscience. I find it interesting that he was accusing her of doing stuff that literally he was doing. Let's continue.
Accuse me or ask me why they're looking in my direction. And I mean, just throwing hissy fits. We're going back and forth, me trying to defend myself and all this and the other. I even confided, mind you, I've been working with these people for years, okay? For years. And so never in a million years that it ever dawned on me or even compute that he could be cheating with someone at our school. We worked together. So I always saw him. We came to the house after we worked. So we went to the same place of employment. And then, after we dropped our daughter off, go to work, after work, come home. It was like the same routine. So all the accusations, while they pointed at he must be doing something, I'm like, well, what can he be doing? Because there's never any time. Okay. But apparently there always is time. So anyway, the way I found out is the first teacher, her husband actually saw text messages between my ex-husband, my husband at the time, and his wife. He found text messages, sexting messages where there were naked pictures being shared and all kind of sexual talk going on and things like that. Now, the reason why her husband was so upset is because he knew my husband because they went to college together, okay? Yes, they went to college together. He saw these text messages, so he felt like the man violated bro code, like on some ego type stuff. But I understood, and he was basically telling my husband, look, if you don't tell your wife about what's going on, I'm going to tell her. Okay, and being the coward that my husband is, he wasn't gonna come to me on his own terms, but he did come to me because he didn't want to get his ass whooped by the dude. So anyway, he came to me one day and he was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm thinking it's some type of crazy shit again. And so, I was like, "Okay, what is it?" He was like, "Listen, I need to tell you something." And then he started breaking down, crying, "But I don't want you to leave me," and all of this stuff right here. And I'm like, "What is it?" You know, and so he finally comes out and he's like, "Look, I got to tell you, before I say this, it wasn't anything physical. You know, it was just text messages back and forth. There was some sexting involved."
Brother.
And I was like, "With who?" And then he calls the teacher's name, and I'm like, "What?" I'm completely baffled. Because I'm like, "What?" I had no idea. Now, this is a teacher who, if I'm sending out, you know, emails in the school for different announcements of things that are going on, she's replying back, you know, "You rock," and all this stuff right here, speaking to me in the hallway, going out her way to come by my class each morning to speak to me. Mind you, you ain't have to do all of that. You know, you doing all of this behind my back with my husband, and you, like, violation. You know what I'm saying? I find this out, it was like toward the end of the school year. Actually, it was the end of the school year. So, I find this out, and I immediately, like, after a day or so, I'm thinking, like, hell no, I gotta go back to school. We gonna have to see each other. I don't even know how I'm gonna react yet. I ain't even fully processed all this information. But the first thing I'm doing is trying to secure the bag. So I let my boss know, the principal of the school. I'm like, "Hey, listen, this happened between my husband and this person at the school.
You told the principal?
I want to just let you know, because I'm not trying to be interact with this person when we get back. I just want to let you know, because don't put us on any teams, any projects, or any group things, or co-teaching type of opportunities. I don't want to really do that, because I don't even know how I'm going to react emotionally to this, because I haven't even had time to process it." Wow. Now, what was crazy is what my principal did after I told him that. Okay, like I said, my principal was moving kind of weird. So anyway, come to find out, he actually contacted this woman, okay? The teacher, I never asked him to do that. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you contacting her like you my daddy or something? So anyway, he contacts...
Oh my God, the whole school messy. This is a ghetto mess. You mean to tell me these teachers sleeping around together, they married, they all sleeping around, and then you got the principal inserting himself in business that had nothing to do with him? You did not have to reach out to that woman. This is a mess.
I guess he's chastising her like, you know better, and you need to reach out to her, and this, that, and the other. So I get a text message. Mind you, I'm in a conference in Vegas. And yes, at the time, my husband at the time was with me, because I had previously already booked this trip to Vegas for myself, was paid for by the school, but then I had paid for my husband to come with me and stuff like that because of, insecurities and stuff. So anyway, he was there with me. So the woman ends up texting me, and she's like, "Yeah, so I guess you talked to the boss or whatnot, and you can give me a call if you can contact me," or something like that. And I'm like, "Bitch, no, you can reach out to me if there's something that you need to discuss." So I would say, fast forward, it was a few hours later, it was around dinner time. We were out at dinner, having a little bite to eat or whatnot. She calls, and she's telling me, basically what had happened, and how, what type of content that my ex-husband would text her about how beautiful she was, and she was like, and I would tell him, "You are too," and this, that, and the other. So I'm like, I'm just listening. I was like, I had no idea, because I think she even asked me that. "Yeah, he said that you were neglecting him, and that was the reason," or he said you were messing around with this person or that person, basically shooting her lies. The same accusations he was coming to me with, he was telling her, and apparently the other teacher too, that these things were actual truths, okay? So
that's how they made it okay. Well, she was messing around with other men, so it's okay to cheat with him, especially the teacher that's married. And my thing is, if they were all buddy smiling in her face, why didn't you come to me and say, "Hey, I'm just letting you know your husband keep reaching out to me," whatever. Instead of reaching out to the wife to let her know what's going on, you flirted back with her husband, and you a whole married woman. Bruh, some women just so trifling.
It was like, "Yeah, but I I didn't know and I felt bad, and I was going through a similar situation with my husband. I'm running out of time. But anyway, she says all of that, and then I let her know, how I felt about it. I was like, no, I'm devastated, because I really was. I had no idea that this was going on behind my back, and I felt betrayed like triple time, because I felt betrayed by my husband, I felt betrayed by the women, and then most importantly, I felt betrayed by the people at my school that I felt like I was close with, that I had confided in, and nobody said anything. Like, I know people knew. So that's how I found out about the first woman. I will create a part 2 so I can let you know about the other lady.
They was probably all sitting around laughing at her face, and this is why you don't mix business and pleasure. It's a lot of people that work with their partner. Y'all living together, and then both of y'all reporting to the same job, the same building. It's not even like they work for the same company but different locations. They work at the same school. I just don't feel like it's a good idea, and clearly for her it wasn't. And then it's also funny to me that he kept pointing the finger on her, making it seem like she's in the wrong, she's doing something she's not supposed to be doing. He's the guilty one, trying to accuse her of stuff to take the blame off of him. All right, y'all, this part 2. Let's get into it.
Okay, so after the conversation with the lady on the phone, the first teacher that I found out about, obviously I found out a lot of things that my husband did not disclose when he was so-called confiding in me. And because of that, I was distraught. I wanted to get out of the restaurant. I just wanted to go back to the room. I really didn't even want to see or talk to my husband at all. He's following behind me, trying to engage and figure out what we discussed in the conversation, just so he can kind of piece together and figure out, I guess, his next lie. But anyway, we get back to the hotel room. We're not really talking, except he tells me something crazy like, oh, well, I mean, this type of stuff happens. Basically minimizing the shit that he had done. This type of stuff happens. You just got to go back to work. You know what I'm saying?
What?
You just got to go back to work. The audacity to tell me this type of stuff happens. Yes, extramarital affairs happen all the time. Cheating, unfortunately, happens. But for a man who is literally raising hell in a person's life daily, accusing them of cheating with somebody else, when it's him the whole time, he's basically projecting all of his shit onto me.
Exactly what he was doing.
Causing me to walk around on eggshells where my damn nervous system is all out of whack. It's the audacity for me. I was livid, to say the least, okay? The following day, though, I was not expecting what happened. So apparently, after the conversation that I had, some things were transpiring in the background where the teacher that I spoke with, the first teacher that I found out about, she obviously reached out to someone who then ended up reaching out to my husband at the time the following day about harassment claims. Okay?
Harassment?
And if you know, you know. Okay? So the harassment claims. He gets a call the next day, and I find out because I'm in between sessions for this conference, and I come back to the room, and I hear him on the phone with his mom. Don't even get me started on that. But I hear him on the phone with his mom, and he's basically telling her, yeah, she did that on purpose. She contacted the principal on purpose. Like, no, I was trying to protect my bag, my peace, making sure that I'm not going to spaz out on this person if I happen to see them because I got so much stuff going on. So it had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with me and my place of employment. And just,
it's him reaching out to his mom, who is clearly his enabler, to then make it about him being the victim and now she's the villain, when the whole time he was being low down and dirty, basically embarrassing her in their place of employment. She
making sure my boss knows what's going on, so that we can move accordingly. So anyway,
that's crazy.
That happened. So the conference ends up ending and we get back in town, and my husband has to go now deal with these claims of harassment.
Who was he harassing?
At the job. And I have no idea exactly what's going on because he's not telling me anything. He's not really disclosing what's going on. I'm then, trying to reach out to my principal because of course, this was not my intention by telling him. I literally told him for the security and the sanctity of myself and my peace of mind moving forward in the next school year, because I did not know how I was going to feel when I first saw this person and had to interact with this person for professional development and things like that. I just didn't want anything to do with it. So fast forward, okay? The harassment claims or whatnot, he had to go deal with that. Apparently, he had receipts to show that it was going both ways, so it couldn't be harassment, and that was that. Fast forward, we get back to the school year has begun. This teacher is not there. She has decided to move locations, okay? I don't know where she went. That's not my concern. I just know that she wasn't there. Let's move forward to the second teacher, okay, and how I found out about her. Fast forward, we're in the next school year. The teacher's not there. All is well as far as me not having to deal with that person. But, of course, I've been compartmentalizing everything. I haven't dealt with my emotions. I've been suppressing everything. Totally unhealthy. I should have been on somebody's couch, okay? Yeah, I finished my coursework. I have a slew of emotions that I'm experiencing. Excitement on one end is the best of times and the worst of times all at the same time. Like, what am I going to do about this? Because on the surface, she, the first teacher that I found out about, she also claimed that there was no physical stuff going on. So what do? Moving on to teacher 2. I get a random text message. And this is how I know that people at the job knew, okay? Whether they knew about the first teacher that I found out about, who happened to be the second teacher that he was cheating with, doesn't make a difference. They knew about the first one, which is the one that really sent me over the edge, okay? I found out about the first teacher because someone caught wind of, I guess, the harassment claims and whatever, and they reached out to me via text message.
You mean the second teacher?
I didn't have this person's number. And they obviously were using some type of, some type of app or software where you can kind of text someone anonymously. So they were reaching out to me and they were like, yeah, I kind of heard what was going on. And that's kind of messed up. And I have all of the receipts. I literally screenshotted all of this stuff. I saved it to my Google Drive. I literally have, when I say receipts, I have receipts, okay? Lots of them. So anyway, this person contacts me and she's like, I don't know if it's a she. It could be a he. But they contact me and they're like, yeah, I heard he was also messing with, it was some teacher. I think she taught. And she named the subject. I'm not trying to name any names or any of that. But she named the subject. And I think the woman left like last year. And I was like, you know what? There was a teacher that left like abruptly last year. So what did I do? Confront my husband.
All right, so this is her part 3. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's part 3 of this series that I didn't even know I was going to start. Part 3, how I found out that my husband was cheating with 2 different teachers at our school. And I say our school because I taught there too at the time. So I confront my husband and I'm like, listen, I'm coming to you about this because I already have some information. I need you to tell me the truth. So I'm like, did you mess with this teacher? And I'm not talking about sexting, okay? Did you, mess with this teacher? And he told me, basically, after he broke down again, and mind you, he broke down, and he then started talking about his childhood and how, things happened to him and all this stuff. Basically trying to gain pity for me while he's also telling me about some devastating information that I had no idea about. Again, going back to all the trauma of being
He's a victim.
hypervigilant due to all of the daily accusations I was getting. So anyway, he tells me that, right? That it happened one time in the back of this teacher's car.
Wow.
Now, mind you, I had worked with this teacher for years. I had prayed for this teacher's child when the child was having, some health issues, called and reached out to this teacher. I mean, had known this teacher for a long time, not to mention that she and I have the same alma mater. But anyway, I digress. If you know, you know. So I have the teacher's number. So now I need to know from the teacher's mouth. So I contact the teacher, and I'm not a disrespectful person. I understand that she was likely lied to just like I was, but regardless of that, I needed the information. So I asked her, and I told her what I knew. And after I told her about him confessing that it happened one time in the back of her car, I'm pretty sure that hit a nerve, because for any woman to be degraded in such a way, now you're like, okay, so if he was going to be honest, then he should have told the whole truth. Don't you know this teacher told me that affair had been going on for 11 months?
Almost a
11
year.
months.
Almost a year.
They had been having an affair. And I'm like, what?
So you mean to tell me for 11 months straight, this woman was coming up to you, smiling in your face, I mean, interacting with you daily, right? Daily. The whole time she was doing all of this, she was sleeping with your husband? I just feel like that is a special type of low down and wicked, because at the end of the day, regardless of what he's telling you, I know she know that they were still married. They were still married, under the same roof. They're still very much together. We could talk about the man all we want. We could bring in the husband and how messed up he is and stuff like that. But at some point as women, we have to just do better. Even if we're not worried about the other woman and how she feels, we just got to hold ourselves at a higher level. Why would you even want to put yourself in a situation like that where you're sleeping with a man you know, to be honest, he never gonna be with you? After 11 months, I'm pretty sure he was probably telling her, yeah, our marriage is over. We have a lot going on. I'm ready to move on. I want to be with you. For them to continue this after 11 months, he had been telling her stuff she wanted to hear. You mean to tell me you had no respect or self-worth, nothing about you to say, yo, I don't even want this no more. I don't care if you stay with your wife or not. This not for me. To be in this woman's face and smiling with her the whole time, you know what this man, like, bruh, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Even if you didn't consider her a friend, for you to be sitting here pretending to be buddy with her and then sneaking around for 11 months with her husband, that's weird. This is the type of relationship that if you didn't have trust issues before, oh baby, you got them now. I feel like on all levels she was betrayed. Like when it comes down to her coworkers, I'm pretty sure she probably considered some of them friends. The fact that maybe everybody in the school knew except for her, I mean, my God, I didn't even touch the betrayal of her husband, because obviously that's pretty much self-explanatory.
And she described the locations of where it used to take place. And then, of course, I wanted to get all the deets. So I asked her, how would this happen? How would this link up? How would you, do this?
Why does it matter?
Mind you, I didn't tell you guys this part. While I was in my doctoral program, at the time decided he wanted to start pursuing his. Wow. Now, he didn't complete his, but he started a program, okay? And he was having to go to class physically in person like once a week on Mondays. So he was staying after work because the campus that he was going to was near our job. And that was fine with me. It gave me a little breather. Plus, I was still in school at the time. So
she was busy too.
I didn't even think anything of it,
That's what he was doing.
And again, I never would have thought, like I told you, it did not compute that there could be someone from our job, because I felt like, and this is me just obviously totally misreading the room, okay? I felt like I had pretty close relationships with most of the people there. I had confided in people that I really looked up to, that I felt had marital experience and could give me advice. So I never even thought that that was a possibility. Okay. And mind you, okay, this person that he was messing with, I had prayed for her child. I mean, it was crazy. So anyway, yeah, it had been happening for 11 months. It had been happening. It also happened at, I think, a hotel room once or twice, she said. And mind you, you know, she took ownership of it, and she said it wasn't something she was proud of. Not that that made me feel any better, but, you know, she did say that part. And she did explain that the reason why she left so abruptly is, one, she called it off after she and her fiance decided that they were about to go ahead and pursue their marriage and go ahead and proceed with the wedding. And she had to end it. And that's the reason why it ended.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that is how I found out about my husband.
You got one woman who was married, right? So she was married, just cheating on her husband for the hell of it. And then you got another woman who was not engaged, but, well, no, she said she was engaged. She was engaged, and they were getting ready to get married. So that's why she called it off and left. Child, when I tell you, karma don't miss a doorstep, and how you treat one person, it's gonna come back for you. That's
cheating
crazy.
on me with two different teachers at the same school.
Wow.
Beyond devastating, hurt. I love this man. I was busy. We both were busy. We had 2 children. Because after we had our daughter, 2 years after we were married, we were pregnant with our son. And so the neglect question that I saw a couple of men, you know, of course you're going to have those type of men
That's
who
not an
hop
excuse.
on here and be like,
That's not an excuse talking about something you neglected him. You were in school, he was in school, y'all had 2 kids. Life happens, and it happens at you fast. At the end of the day, he was cheating because he wanted to cheat. Like, I don't want to make it seem like it's her fault that he cheated. No. As an individual, we all are responsible for our own actions. Nobody is out here forcing him to do anything he didn't want to do. He was laid up in those women in the hotel rooms or in the text message sending pictures back and forth to these women because he wanted to. That has nothing to do with her. Every single time that he went to go sleep with that one teacher, every single time he had the opportunity to say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about this. It's wrong what I'm doing. If I love my family, whatever. He had every opportunity to say no, but he chose not to. He chose to go lay up in the bed with another woman that he know works with his wife.
I just want to hear his side. And, you know, like any human being, it's not a man thing. Every man got a reason to cheat. Any human being can have a reason or justification for their actions to choose infidelity. But when you make that choice, then you also got to be willing to deal with the consequences.
That's true.
And unfortunately, I made the decision I needed to make because obviously he had made the decision he wanted to make. And it wasn't even, it's not just about the cheating for me. Something about this is the fact that you chose to cheat at our place of employment.
Exactly.
Where we work.
It's past cheating. I honestly feel like he was trying to embarrass her. She was out here, she's pursuing her doctoral program. At the time, he wasn't. I felt like it was done to kind of bring her down a couple notches. Like, don't get bigger than your bridges. That's honestly how I feel. Obviously, I don't know these people from nowhere. But for me, listening as an outsider, that's how I took it. Like, he was jealous. Stay in your place. Stay in your lane.
Where we provide for our children.
Yeah.
Now, it's just insane to me. It's like, you didn't have enough respect.
Oh, girl, no.
To at least cheat with somebody I could never come into contact with. Like, it's sloppy.
He didn't care.
I'm not even, it's the principle, like, of the matter. Like, it's terrible to cheat. But you don't even have enough respect for me to cheat outside of where we work. But you have the audacity to come to me and accuse me on a regular basis, every day, cheating with the boss, the assistant boss. Like, I'm not the type of woman that has to work her way up via sexual relations in order to move up, because thank the Lord, I am very well educated. It's the audacity. It's the disrespect. It's all of that extra stuff on top of the fact that you're cheating and projecting all of your negative stuff onto me. So that's the end of part 3. Okay, so he
was definitely projecting. It's like, well, I'm doing something. I know she gotta be out here doing something too. Whole time he was the only one. What's the point of cheating? If he wasn't happy and he felt like he was being neglected, you could have left. You could have just said, hey, this isn't working out. Why do y'all be acting like people be holding y'all hostage? You don't have to be with anybody you don't want to be with. Like, if you want to leave, leave. She mentioned him not finishing his doctoral program. Nothing to do with her. He was too busy out here chasing tail. If he would focus on what was important, finishing school and his family, he would have been good. That man was focusing on everything except for his family. And obviously school as well. Obviously the women get the blame as well, because she was mentioning how they was all smiling in her face and being all buddy-buddy with her. But 100% he's at fault. Because nobody else at that school owed her any type of loyalty, any type of respect, other than the man that she exchanged vows with. That's who should have been having enough respect for her, as well as himself. Because why would you even want that reputation going around the school? And what kind of school is this that y'all going around sleeping with each other? All these teachers sleeping with each other. Like, this ghetto mess. And then you got the principal calling them up and, inserting himself in the drama. This school is a mess. I hope she don't work there no more. I would not be able to even bring myself back there another school year, knowing it's not just one woman that my husband was messing with. It's 2. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, guys. Be sure to share your comments below. Let me know what you think on this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.